Let's go. Let's try this out for the first time out. Oh, slow movements.
Slow, Steve.
Slow movements.
It's the Unipod podcast. It's the Unipod. It's with Ian and John. It's the Unipod podcast. It's the Unipod. It's with Ian and John.
Well, hello and welcome to the Unipod podcast. This is a bit different. We're trying something a bit strange, and we've been trying this for how long would you say now, Ian?
Yeah, 5 minutes. Something like that.
Years, it feels like. So if you're listening to the podcast, then you won't appreciate that we are doing this in a virtual reality world. We're in a virtual studio where we've
Horizon Workrooms.
Horizon Workrooms on the Oculus Quest 2 coming close.
My head has just hit the wall.
So if you are just listening to this, I encourage you to go and look at the YouTube channel that's Real Life, Jonathan Wally Real Life, and you'll see this experiment of doing a virtual reality. But it's pretty amazing, isn't it, Ian, when you say? Yeah, I would say if you'd open his mouth. Because when you speak, your mouth moves and I can see you.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
It's...
What if I stick my tongue out? No, it's not working, is it?
No, thank goodness.
No.
See what you have for breakfast. But the content of the podcast, we hope, is going to be the same. It's going to be maybe a bit briefer, try and keep it a bit shorter this time. That's the ambition, just a little bit shorter. But what's really nice is I feel like I'm in the same room as you, which is...
You're very tanned, as though you've been on holiday for a long time.
Well, you get to do your...
Very sharply shaven.
Yeah, well, you get to create your avatar.
And blue eyes.
This is how I would look if I could look like this. About
would you?
30 years younger and about 4 stone.
A surprised
lighter.
look on your face.
Your skin complexion is fantastic. Where's your hair gone?
I've got a hat on. Have I got a hat on?
You have?
Yeah, I have, yeah. I don't own that hat.
Do they not do shambolic chic?
They do not, no. They don't. No, I did have a look, but they don't.
All right. But let's just have a quick tour around the new headquarters of the
And if
podcast.
we move slowly, it's because in our world, the screen doesn't tip left or right. But when you're watching it back on YouTube, it will be all over the place. It'll be like, way. But for us, of course, when we move left and right, it's just like you would do in real life. So here we have, this is an image which we've added to the room. This is shortly after John hit the back of his skull on the pavement. I do have that video for anybody that wishes to have a view. This one over here is John shortly after trying to make a cup of coffee. He has had a pretty serious accident, to be fair. Yeah,
It's
on that
I
one.
was in a wheelchair when I had the accident, isn't it?
Yeah, and you're laughing. So
always laughing.
And then the logo.
Smooth pan around to the logo.
The logo has been made sort of 3 or 4 minutes before we went live with this podcast. So there it is.
Bit disappointed. Could you have made that into a unicycle behind there rather than just a circle?
It is a unicycle.
Oh, I glitched out completely then. I lost.
Yeah, you went real quick. Were you spaced out?
So here's what's coming up in the show. Now I can share my screen here on the big screen, and we're going to show some videos and things, but I'm going to stop sharing because I don't want to give away what's coming up in the show to Ian, because here I've got Challenge Ian is coming up, and if I share that on the screen, he'd see the answers to the questions I've got lined up. We're going to have a little chat about what we've been doing and that kind of stuff. Got some feedback from listeners. We have got a listener's jingle that we're going to share. Ian has left the room. Oh, Ian's gone to the whiteboard.
Because I get a different view, you see. So.
What a good idea, clever idea. Yeah. So we've got a listener's jingle that we're going to play, which looking forward to sharing that with you. And yeah, challenges Ian is back. So Ian, tell people what you've been doing. How are you? What you've been up to?
Well, not too bad at all, thank you, Jonathan. Thanks for asking and taking an interest in what I do. I have been, I've been mainly working all the time with Speedy Feet, etc. So we've updated the website. We've done all sorts of things like that. We're trying to make things a bit more streamlined, a bit better. Costs are rising, so everything's going up. So it's quite a difficult time in that respect because all the wheels are going up in price. Kingsong announced last week that their average wheel price is going up by $125 or $160 per unit, which is mega. That's almost like another. By the time it gets to us, it's about another £300 on top. So that's a bit problematic. I'm also in the middle of a move, which can be more or less announced now. after it looks like it's actually going ahead. And I've got one friend, which is Jonathan, and he's going to help me with the move, aren't you, John?
Well, what you can't see in this the VR world is that I've
Hold
actually
on.
got a very
Well,
badly
before
broken hand. What?
Before you mention that, look at these pictures and try and guess what may happen next in John's conversation. Have you got some imagery to put up here?
Yeah, probably do actually.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ian,
probably do.
by the way, Ian. Does it not say anything above my head?
It does say
it
that.
does, right? So you shouldn't get confused. Let's be honest.
No, it shouldn't get confused. But could you say, what are you doing while you're standing there? Because it looks like you're trying to do some John
the
Travolta
controllers
disco
didn't work.
moves.
So, yeah, I'm just looking at that.
Right. I'm going to share some images on the screen of what I've been doing then, because this is.
It's a good story.
If I can't. Oh, it's a good story. It's a great story. Let me just bear with me though.
I know what I was trying to do. I was trying to move to that. There we go. So I was going to review this whilst you're looking. I'll try not to walk into my wall. This is a close-up image of that small accident whilst you're making a cup of coffee, for anybody interested. So this, the stuff that's recorded from this will not be in portrait. It's sort of like a weird format. So just so you guys know that, we're doing the best we can with what we've kind of can export. I'll go and visit the other one.
Right, so on the screen, Ian, the display board, now I'm showing a picture. For people that listen to the podcast, I've had quite a nasty crash, which is not unusual for me.
It's the norm.
This was pretty much, this is the worst crash I think I've had in terms of the sickening speed of it and the potential that could have happened. Fortunately, I've come off really quite lightly with it, but I was riding. That's what my arms look like when I went to the fall. I was riding the Bigode EX. I was doing a commute from Crawley, which is south of London, about 30 miles away from my office, 32 miles away from my office. And I rode all the way into my office, which is in Putney, which is in London. Not in the centre of London, but right on the Thames. So it's a beautiful place and a long way to go. And it's through dense traffic. And it takes me about an hour and a half to get there all the way on my unicycle. If I go and get the train, it probably takes me about an hour and 15. If I drive all the way, it could take me an hour and a half, 2 hours. So using the unicycle is just about as fast as anything else. Oh, there you are.
I was wondering when you're going to notice that. Just stood there looking, go, come on, look at me, please, look at the camera, look at the camera. I am the camera. Just chatting away to someone over there.
And yes, I was riding about 30 odd miles, and for most of the way, you are faster than the traffic. You're doing, because the top speed of that wheel is about 45 miles an hour.
Not that you go that fast, because that's crazy.
Well, that would be crazy. And I'd got about 1.5 miles, 2 miles to go, and I'd wound my way to the front of some traffic lights to the head of a queue, and the road then fans out into 3 lanes. So basically, there's triple lanes, like a motorway. But soon after that, it goes back a filter where I turn off the road. So I thought, I'm just going to blast it down here and get ahead of this traffic, and then off to where it's safe. I looked down and checked, and there's 85 volts left, 85.3 volts or something was saying on the screen behind me. So, and I checked that about 1 mile or so before that. So I thought I was okay, but I don't know what that means, if I'm honest with you. When it says it'd be so much better if the display on that Bigode gave you a percentage of your battery remaining rather than some kind of random figures that you're going to try and then work out what does that mean, what have I got left. But anyway, so I just floored it. I went as fast as I could, and the wheel hit its maximum speed. It cut out.
Should we have a look at some of those results? Shall we?
Well, shall we? Well, this, let's have a look, which is the best one to give you, really. So let's have a look at the wheel to begin with. So this is what happened to the wheel. This is the back of the wheel. You can see there it's
looks slightly damaged here.
Do you think? I think I can knock that out. Do you think I can brush it out? Wax it out?
Yeah, that'll wax out. This bit here, what's this?
Well, I think that was the rear light, I think.
Okay, so this is the front. Yeah.
Yeah, this doesn't really work on the audio podcast, but what we're looking at is the back view of a unicycle that is completely destroyed. It is. The side panels are intact, actually, and
Ian.
But the top, the centre strip of it and the lights. It's all just disintegrating and come away. So all the bit in the centre that was kind of the pretty sections, all the things that plugged it in to charge it. Let's show you the angle from the front as well there, so you can compare the front view. Yeah, just the same story at the front. Everything on the centre strip was smashed in. When I'd picked myself up off the street and looked at my injuries and realised I had 2 miles to go, I just realised I had to keep on riding. So I got back on it, and it rode okay. I only did about 5 miles an hour, but I was able to ride it in that state, so it was still turned on. This is a picture of my glove. You can see the state of my gloves. It just, all my protective clothing was wearing, it just ripped through it all. So the glove there, for listeners, is just torn to shreds. Let me show you the helmet, because the helmet, I really believe, saved my life. You can see there, yeah, it is pretty much, that's the visor that just snapped and smashed. And you can see just behind it, the impact there. And down the side of it, you can see it taking a bash. And I was actually quite bruised. The side of my head was bruised. I must have hit the curb, but at the time I went down hard. Proper style. Skiddle around. Let me show you
what
my...
were your actual injuries then?
Well, this is my trouser leg. Ripped the trouser. Sadly, and foolishly, I wasn't wearing knee pads.
Oh,
So
look at that.
Yeah.
Describe that injury to the listeners.
It's just torn through. The worst thing was that's brand new jeans. I bought those jeans about 3-4 days before. So they were gone.
Do they come with holes in them?
No, but it is fashionable to have holes in them,
Correct.
but not blood-stained holes. So I just took a layer of skin off my kneecap there, but actually, very lucky because that could have been a lot worse. And surely that would have been much more of a worse injury. I have to say now, my knee is really badly bruised and swollen. My knee, I looked at it last night, it looked like John Merrick's neck.
Could you bring up a picture of John Merrick for those that don't know John Merrick?
John Merrick,
I'll keep talking. And,
if I show you the picture of the hand there, this is my hand.
Oh, this yeah.
So it was badly bruised. That finger there, this little finger on the right, is broken there. Snapped there.
Snapped there?
A bit lower down. Snapped. A bit lower down. Snapped there.
So snapped there, so you broke the tendon here. Did you break it here as well?
I broke the finger. Yeah, I think I broke the finger there and below. So I broke it in two places and snapped the tendon. So that's giving me what they call mallet finger. So that the end of the finger is just.
Have you got a photo of it?
That finger
plastered up now?
It's like my little finger's in the shape, for listeners, of an S.
Yeah, it's getting there, isn't it? Yeah, getting there.
So that's all strapped up. That's going to be strapped up for the next 6 to 8 weeks.
Brilliant.
But it wasn't the only crash we've had recently either. So shall we show the footage of the other little crash we had?
Yeah, we can show the footage of the little crash.
Okay,
I'll return to my desk.
Okay, so this you can just give people an audio description of what happened.
Hi. So the crash, which one is it? Because there was several crashes that day.
Well, we've gone out with you riding the S20.
Can I just say that John thinks I do him a disservice? Like, I think he genuinely believes that he rides almost without trouble the entire time, and I just happen to capture moments where he has severe accidents. This isn't actually the case. I don't go, because obviously I don't know when these accidents are going to take place. It can't continually be always the thing that I just happen to be recording. It's just the majority of what you see me and John filming on is actually what actually happens over that period of time. So it's not all weird. Every single time he seems to capture John falling off, it's like no, that's just I can't record anything else. I try to record other things, and all I get is crashes, or getting on the wheel back to front and things like that.
Yeah. And I'm looking around a bit over your shoulders. That picture of me falling off a wheelchair. So, I can't really.
How do you fall off a wheelchair?
Oh, we'll have to show that video as well. So this is...
All right, Jonathan and Ian.
Oh, no.
How's it going, you little dickheads?
No, that's the wrong one.
Wrong video.
Don't worry. Normal service is about to be resumed.
You can have to describe this for the listeners.
Yeah, I'm going to put it on... I'll share it on the screen. Boop, 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 boop. Get the hang of this now.
It's loading. John starts sharing.
Right, I'm just going to pause it there because right. So that was quite.
Are you going to try and explain your way out of this? Because it kind of feels like you're going to. Like it's inexplicable, but carry on.
Okay, for listeners, we're out in the woods and.
Can you please actually turn around and look at yourself in that image, and now explain what happened in the woods?
We were out in some woods, and I was on the EX, you were on the S20. We've been out riding for quite a bit of time, and we were doing some fun stuff and finding some trails. In fact, we set off in the morning. And within about 10 minutes of leaving the house, I thought I was going to have a heart attack. You take me down some muddy paths in the woods, in the forest, and you were just bopping through it all on the S20, and I was struggling. And it's because I'm just not a very good rider. I'll be honest.
Hey, really? It's news to everybody. Someone actually commented on YouTube. They said, rather than laughing at him, why don't you teach him? I said, look, listen, he's only been riding 9 years. We can't expect him to.
Anyway, so we were out and through some really muddy wet bits, and I was really struggling, and I was absolutely shattered, and I laid on the floor at one point, panting like a hot dog, trying to get my breath. But then we found this is later in the day, we found a really steep bit, and I rode down it, and you'd gone ahead of me, and I didn't realise you'd stopped at a section where there was a drop off of about 2 feet, so not massively. Because you could normally do quite easily. But what I don't think the video shows is actually how steep it was. It was ridiculously steep.
Wow. Your arm's broken. I can't tell. Your arm's broken.
So when I went off down there, you thought I'm going to video this because you got the camera out because you knew something entertaining would ensue. And to be fair, you didn't tell me about the drop off. You kind of stood.
I thought you could see. You could actually see the drop off.
You were stood in front of it. You were masking it, and you know you were.
I definitely. I wasn't. I would never do that. That's not correct. I would have warned you just as you got to it. I thought you'd seen it. You're up there. It's clearly visible.
Yeah.
I'm stood to the side.
Yeah.
And then you got there, and I actually tried to grab you, which annoyingly, don't know why I did that, because if I hadn't have done that, I'd have filmed you actually cartwheeling through the trees.
Yeah. So as I went past you, to be fair, you put your hand out, you tried to stop me, and as I went past you, and clearly out of control at this point.
You went out of control at the moment you start. You watch that video, at no point in any of the riding in that bit were you in control. It was more like, whoa, it's going to go wrong. Too late.
Problem is, was I collided with you and went past you, you spun around the other way and missed me falling off. I went off this drop off. I'm going to play it again now, and what you'll see is when the camera just pan round, this is not some kind of clever Hollywood effect where the stuntman does the trick and then Jonathan is then lying waiting for it to stand up, and the stuntman's carefully got off the corner safely. I actually travelled in the time it took you to spin round with the camera. I'd travelled this distance.
All I can say is that's teleportation.
Are you right?
What you can't see is that the distance between me and the...
There's those two trees as well. You did a 90-degree turn, and you actually cartwheeled, because what I saw, because obviously I wasn't filming, but I was looking, your feet were up in the air as you cartwheeled through. It was like a load of wood dust floating, and then you landed over there.
Yeah,
and my concern really does show through the
let's just listen. Let's just listen to that concern because it's heartfelt.
Sounds like I'm out of breath or something.
How's your legs?
How's your legs?
I thought you'd see it, to be honest. It's only when you sort of got a bit of speed, I thought I'd try and grab you to stop you falling off it. Because you sounded surprised that there was a drop off. Yeah. Do you think you would have made that drop off?
Really?
Well, you made it. Oh, that's good. So I missed the full bit there because that was brilliant.
You missed the fall?
Yeah. Well, because I grabbed your stomach.
Do it again.
And then tried to stop you or slow you down.
You should have done it again.
But
you wouldn't have braked on that, though, would you?
What you can't see is around the corner. It was really steep. It went round.
You lying down.
Round like this S-bend around here.
Then a little commotion, and then you lying on the floor.
I did a cartwheel here.
You did? It was very impressive because you actually went through the 2 trees there. You sort of went round there. After hitting there. Alright, good.
Yep.
But I went down on the S20, didn't I? And I could only just brake. It wasn't really stopping. It was that steep. I was leaning right back, and nothing was really happening. You sort of ride it out.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Cool. Right. Let's on the back of that, we're going to play you a readers' jingle. So I'm encouraging people to
Readers'
write
jingles?
So people that want to send
Not
in
listeners.
jingles. Listeners' jingles. Yeah.
Yeah, got you.
Readers'
Cool.
lives. Yeah. And on the back of that one, this is one that has been sent in by Neon EUC. Now, when Neon EUC, who I know on Facebook, sends stuff in. Neon has got a reputation, I think, for being banned from Facebook. He just likes to get himself. So I did think this could go horribly wrong, but let's listen.
With a little crash here, a little crash there, crash, crash, crash. With a little smash here, a little smash there, smash, 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 smash. With a little crash here, a little crash there, crash, 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 crash. With a little smash here, a little smash there, smash, 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 smash. Was John likes to crash Ian's wheels. He doesn't care as Ian has to pay the bills.
Yeah.
John thinks it's funny. It's only Ian's money. He wrecks all he uses. He's pure crap, pure crap, pure crap. He needs a slap, needs a slap, needs a slap. He's pure crap, pure crap, pure crap. Needs a slap, needs a slap, needs
He
a
doesn't
slap.
like you, does he?
It's
I'm getting that impression.
nice in the way he rides. You would think he's completely blind. He can't see where he's going. It's always showing, 'cause he keeps on crashing. It's time to say goodbye. Bye, 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 bye. I have to fly, have to fly, have to fly. This podcast rules, it rules, it rules.
Compliment.
Ian's the man, but John is a complete fool, 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 fool.
I like this. I'm going to use this as a ringtone on my phone. For you.
Yeah, brilliant. So thank you, Neon EUC, for that. And if anybody would like to send us your own jingle for the show, then please do. You can email it to me at ianandjohnpodcast@gmail.com, or you're going to sit down, or you can send it me via Messenger on Facebook, or anything. Any of those other means of sending me stuff, please do it, and then we'll put your jingles on the air. So thank you, Neon EUC. That was a belter, that one. You made me sound like I can hold a tune, which is great. Yeah, come closer. Come in.
You're right.
Mate?
Fist bump. Can't quite get there.
Well, I can't quite because I've got a wall in front.
Yeah, me too. I'm hitting my computer screen.
Okay, right. Let's move on if we can. I'm going to stop sharing my screen because I just want to do some stuff on Readers Lives. Let's play the Readers Lives jingle. So this is the section of the show where people send us their stories, their sad stories, or tell us what they've been up to, and then we can, discuss it and take the mickey out of them. Let's hope it works.
Well, what's the story in Readers' Lives? Wouldn't you like to know? Will it be boring or will it be fun? It's a sketchy part of the show. Tell us your tale and Ian and John will rip it all apart. Readers' Lives.
It's not working.
What's the story in Readers' Lives? I hope it's interesting. Will it be a regular feature or thrown into the bin?
Brilliant. Shared.
Okay, right. So I'm going to skip through this. We're just trying to keep this a shorter show. We're saying it's still going to be about 4
Yeah,
hours.
you said 10 minutes last night. I was laughing my head off when you said 10 minutes.
Okay, so
Scroll right to the bottom. Goodbye.
Readers' Lives.
Nope.
I've got nope. I've always got the wrong section of the script there. So that was it. That was Readers' Lives this week.
Nope. Readers' Lives. Nope.
Let's just.
Well, that was it for Readers' Lives. We hope you enjoyed it. We hope it was a lot of fun.
Hope you enjoyed it.
A pile of rubbish.
Brilliant.
Right, so we'll do that next time. I've had some people have some feedback, but it's not on the script there, so we'll do that next time. Right, I'm just going to play another video now. This is.
All right, Jonathan and Ian, how's it going, you little dickheads? I'm just here to remind you that your podcast is fucking terrible. I mean, I've not listened to your podcast. Of course I haven't. All you talk about is electric unicycles. The fact that John can't even ride an electric unicycle properly. Why have you made a podcast about electric unicycles? I can't imagine this ever going to take off, I've got to be honest. Anyway, I'm sure that you two are enjoying yourselves, having fun, you little unicycle friends. Oh, unicycle friends. But if you do want to stop banging on about unicycles and come down the caravan club with me, bring some wellies, you know what I'm talking about, you're more than welcome. But until then, stop being a couple of unicycle wankers, because...
It's a bit harsh. Right, okay, it's
James
time for
Buckley.
this. Yeah, James Buckley from The In-Betweeners. Big fan of the show there.
Yeah.
Right. It's, I haven't got the jingle for this one.
Oh,
I've
for
got-
goodness
this is
ridiculous.
This is a catastrophe. So I'll insert it here. This overplaying now is the jingle.
Well, before you do, the effort it took to leverage John to get into this lovely room here, our studio, was quite a lot. Well, you weren't convinced, were you? I think it's working quite well. I don't know what it's going to look like on actual 2D video, but
I'm concerned what it's going to look like to the listeners. Look like to listeners who are listening to it. It must be absolutely shambolic to listen to this back on a podcast and think, is this the quality of what we've got to listen to now? But yes. Yeah. Silence is golden. Okay. COVID. Right.
Time to challenge Ian. You can play along. It's starting after this stupid little song.
So that was the challenge Ian jingle. Hope you enjoyed that. And I'm now going to stop sharing my screen because this is the part of the show where I challenge Ian to a little quiz. And I've mixed it up from time to time. I vary what we do. We've had things like I brought his family in on the game and asking him questions, those kind of things. But oh, come on, Jonathan, get the computer to work. Here we go. So Ian, this is a series of questions. That hopefully you can't see on the screen, so you can't see the answer. And
I can see it on here, though.
If you can you?
No.
Can you?
No.
If you could, I'd be so angry with that.
Just smack your head.
Smack my head. On the wardrobe.
The wardrobe makes no sense.
The challenges of working in a VR environment. Okay, right. Ian, so I'm going to ask you a series of questions now. And
Thank you.
play along, listeners, play along, people that are watching them. Oh, I don't know if you can see that on the playback. There's my broken fingers in real time. Right, so this is a question. Right, this is about Henry VIII. Which tax did Henry VIII introduce in 1535? I'm going to give you three options. Don't Google. I can see your fingers on the keyboard. Don't Google. Up. Yeah. So, what tax did Henry VIII introduce in 1535? Was it
Window tax.
Was it a beard tax? Was it a bee tax? Or was it a beer tax? So play along, listeners at home. Was it a beard tax, bee tax, or beer tax?
Let's go with a beard tax.
I think you covered all your bases there, didn't you? Beard. Which one is it?
Yeah.
One of those.
Yeah.
Are you going with
beard.
beard tax?
Yeah, why not? Seems most unlikely.
It was a beard tax.
Hey! Woohoo, boys!
COVID. I've just got to say, by the way, when we edit this together, you need to do it from your perspective because all the answers are on the screen here. Right, this is about what the average person does 13 times a day. Do they fart? Do they laugh? Or do they urinate? There's only 15 minutes left in the meeting, mate. We need to push on. Does the average person fart, laugh, or urinate 13 times a day?
Because it's childish, it's probably fart. But I'm going to hope you're better than that and say laugh.
Oh, you've got too high expectations. It is laugh.
Oh, there we go.
I laugh far more than 13 times a day.
If I'm riding out with you on a wheel,
yep.
Oh man,
Guaranteed.
Yeah, you're talking like 1,000% increase.
We do have a good laugh. We were just saying, weren't we, earlier on, that we could actually work like this. We could
Correct.
set up our work environment. So you could be there. We could be working away in our own areas of expertise and business.
Well, expertise is a stretch.
But it'd be so distracting. We would get nothing done.
No, we would do. Honestly, because you can mute. So if you're in an actual meeting, you can sit there working just like with hot desking, and you just mute and carry on with the meeting. And then when you come out, you're like, "All right, how you doing?" Yeah, you're like, "Yeah, I'm gonna get some lunch in a minute or whatever." It's just be brilliant. Just be brilliant. It's the future.
I might do that. Right, last one. In 1978, an Iowa judge dismissed a drink driving charge for what obscure reason? Was the individual too drunk to sample? Or was the individual registered blind? Or was the car was actually horse drawn? It was a regular car, but it was being drawn by a horse. Hello?
I'm thinking it's either the blind bit or it's the horse bit. So I'm going to go with driver's blind.
No, you are wrong. The driver was too drunk to sample.
Oh, okay.
That's good, isn't it?
I wouldn't have guessed that.
So, how do you dismiss somebody for being too drunk to drive? Well, that was it for Challenge Ian. Listen, we're going to draw it to a close there, because this is an experimental episode of the podcast. And we've missed out on so many things which we can bring up next time. In fact, coming up next time on the show, we will do some readers' lives. So please do send in your stories. Tell me, I'd be interested to know what...
Good, you're looking at me because you're not looking down.
I'd be interested to know what people's highest speed crash was. So if people,
I know, 45.
Well, I checked out that the top speed of the Bigodi is 45. So I think that's what happened to me. I was going 45 when it cut out, and I've come away with a broken figure.
Silly, isn't it? Though?
It is silly, isn't it? It is silly. People tell me what high speed crash you've had.
Also, if you rewind a few episodes, you were talking about the fact, testing what happens at low battery voltage and what would happen if you just do it and get used to its experience. And you did. So now you know. We've answered that one.
I don't advise people to do that.
Informative.
Coming up on the show next time is also we do Readers' Lives. We've also been asked for some advice from a listener. Real McCoy, he's one of our regulars from Australia. He's asked some advice for a friend who's considering buying a wheel. It's an interesting debate about how you choose a wheel, so I think we'll talk about that. So if people are thinking about, well, I use it to commute, or I use it for fun, or I use it for popping to the shops, and taking into account people's size and weight and those kind of things. So we'll have a conversation about that next time. Anything interesting you're up to, Ian, between now and our next podcast?
Not apart from moving house.
Which is a big thing, time consuming.
Yeah, you were helping with that, aren't you? Remember you promised that you'd help with that.
Oh, my poorly finger.
Oh, my little finger and my knees.
Yeah, so I'll be down there to help you smash things up as you move house.
Watch. Guess who else, when you bust your finger, the same day, Amy bust hers, didn't she?
And she had the same injury with the...
exactly the same.
On the same little finger, same hand?
Yep. Broke it.
Sympathy.
Yeah.
Sympathy break.
Yeah.
Bless her. I was going to be doing the video review of the V12, and I was actually prepping to do the final 1,000-kilometre review of the Bigodi X, which I probably should film.
Yeah. Does that come to an abrupt end? Just tape it all back up and say it still rides.
Yeah, beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah.
It was rider area. But that's it for this time. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you have, please do send us your stuff, send us your stories, we'd love some more jingles from you. So if you've got a jingle, please, as you've heard, it doesn't need to be good quality. But that Birdie song was Brilliant. So thank you for that. That's it for this time, Ian.
Before
Love
we
you
play
loads.
Before I just I go to the whiteboard to do the outro. Get used to doing that. And then you can do the outro, you see?
Okay, which we're going to have friends. Oh, no, that's not worked. Here we go.
Every time that you come, I'll capture it all. I'll put it on to Facebook and YouTube.
That's it, folks. Thank you. See you again soon. Bye for now.